Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Native English Podcast, the place where learning English feels completely natural, genuinely useful, and always enjoyable. I am Sarah.
And I am John. Hi there, everyone. How are you all doing today? Sarah, how are you feeling this fine day?
I am feeling absolutely wonderful, honestly. I have been looking forward to today's topic all week. I really do think this one is going to resonate with just about every single person listening to us right now.
I completely agree. Today, we are diving into something that connects with every one of us, no matter where we are in the world or what stage of life we are in. We are talking about our daily routines, that steady, familiar rhythm that keeps our lives moving forward each and every day.
Exactly right. From the very moment we open our eyes in the morning to the moment we finally pull the covers up and drift off to sleep at night, we follow certain patterns and habits that shape the entire flow of our day. Some of us follow them very consciously, and others just fall into them naturally over time.
But tell me, Sarah, what does a typical day actually look like for different kinds of people? Because I think there's a huge variety out there.
That is such a great question, actually. Daily routines can look very different depending on your lifestyle, the kind of work you do, whether you have a family, your natural energy levels, even the city or country you live in. But no matter how different they look on the outside, they're all made up of the same small things we do regularly, day after day.
And throughout today's episode, we are going to share our very own personal routines with you, starting from how we kick off our mornings and going all the way through to how we wind ourselves down at the end of the evening.
And along the way, we're also going to talk about how having a solid routine can genuinely help you feel more balanced, more focused, more in control of your life, and honestly, a lot less stressed overall.
It really is all about discovering what genuinely works best for you as an individual, not blindly copying someone else's so-called perfect morning routine that you found on social media.
Yes, because we all know that perfectly curated morning routine that somehow takes 3 full hours and involves about 17 carefully choreographed steps is just not realistic for most of us living real lives.
Absolutely not. Okay, so let us get right into it, starting at the very beginning of the day, the morning. Sarah, what does your actual morning look like on a typical day?
So my mornings are actually fairly structured these days, and I really like that about them. I usually wake up around 7 in the morning, and honestly, the very first thing I do before I even think about getting out of bed is take a quiet moment just to stretch and breathe slowly.
Oh, I really like that. Just a nice, gentle way to ease yourself into the day rather than shocking your system.
Exactly. There's no jumping straight up and immediately reaching for the phone, just a few long, slow, deep breaths and some gentle, light stretching. It honestly helps me feel so much more alert and clear-headed, rather than foggy and groggy the way I used to feel.
I really love that approach. I personally wake up a little earlier, around 6:30 in the morning, because my schedule tends to require an earlier start. And the absolute first thing I do every single morning without exception is drink a full, large glass of water.
Oh, that is such a genuinely brilliant habit. Properly hydrating first thing in the morning before anything else. I keep meaning to do this more consistently myself.
Yes, your body has gone anywhere from 7 to 9 hours without any water while you were sleeping, so it really and truly needs that hydration as soon as possible. Then, just like you, I brush my teeth and wash my face right after. That combination of cold water on my face and clean teeth just sets the most positive tone for the rest of the whole day.
It really does. That simple act of washing your face in the morning genuinely feels like pressing some kind of mental refresh button, like your brain gets the signal that a new day is actually beginning. After my face wash, I have a light breakfast, something simple and nourishing, like oatmeal with some fruit on top, or perhaps some toast with a little peanut butter, just enough to properly fuel my energy before the day really gets moving.
Breakfast is equally important for me. I usually go for scrambled eggs with whole grain toast, or sometimes I'll throw together a quick smoothie if I'm in a hurry and need something fast. After breakfast, I take about 10 minutes to sit quietly, check through my emails, and look over my to-do list for the day ahead.
Yes, I do the same thing. I check what's on my agenda so that I know exactly what I'm walking into rather than just stumbling into the day unprepared. There's something incredibly calming and reassuring about knowing what the day holds in advance. It removes a lot of that anxious, uncertain feeling.
Absolutely. Having that organized, intentional, and calm start to the morning makes such a profound difference to the way the entire rest of the day unfolds. You just feel more grounded and in control from the very beginning.
Now, let's go through some of the key vocabulary words from what we just shared together. The word stretch means to extend your body or your limbs in order to loosen up your muscles. It's what I do each morning as one of the first things to ease gently into the day without any sudden shock to my system.
And the word hydrate means to give your body the water and fluids it needs to function properly. Your body genuinely needs fluid replenishment after sleeping for several hours, and starting each day with a full glass of water is honestly one of the simplest and most effective healthy habits you can possibly build.
A light breakfast refers to a small and simple meal, not heavy or filling to the point of making you feel uncomfortable, just enough to provide you with sufficient energy without leaving you too full to concentrate or function at your best.
And a to-do list is simply a written or typed list of all the tasks you plan to complete during the course of your day. Looking at it first thing in the morning helps you feel genuinely organized and in control of things before your schedule gets busy and hectic.
Wonderful. Now let's move forward into the afternoon, because mornings, as wonderful as they are, really are only half of the whole story. Totally true. Afternoons are actually when I tend to feel most sharp, most focused, and most productive in my work. My mind has had time to warm up fully, and I can really dig deep into the bigger and more complex tasks.
For me personally, the afternoon is without a doubt the busiest and most demanding part of my entire day. There are usually lots of calls, lots of messages coming in from different directions, and lots of competing things pulling at my attention. But even when things get very hectic and busy, I always make sure to take short breaks throughout.
Yes, short breaks are absolutely essential. Even something as brief as standing up from your desk and stretching for 5 minutes, walking to the kitchen to get a glass of water, or just stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. It recharges your energy and your mental focus more than you would ever expect just from those few minutes.
And what about lunch? What does your typical lunch look like on a workday?
I usually eat my lunch sometime around noon, and I make a real point of stepping completely away from my work to eat it properly. My go-to meal is usually something like a fresh salad with some form of protein like chicken or chickpeas, or sometimes a simple, wholesome sandwich. I try to keep it on the healthier and lighter side because eating a very heavy lunch tends to make me feel terribly sluggish and slow through the rest of the afternoon.
Sluggish, yes. That thick, heavy, slow feeling you get after you eat eaten too much in the middle of the day. I know that sensation all too well.
Yes, that notorious post-lunch fog where all you really want to do is put your head down somewhere quiet for 20 minutes.
I know it well. So I also keep my lunch quite light. Something like a colorful vegetable bowl with some brown rice or a piece of fruit alongside some protein. After lunch, I take a few minutes to regroup mentally and emotionally before getting ready to tackle the second half of the workday.
And that second half of the afternoon, after lunch, is honestly when I focus most intently on the bigger and more demanding projects, the things that require real sustained concentration and deep thinking. I try to knock those important tasks out while I still have enough energy and mental momentum to do them properly.
Let us go through a few more vocabulary words from our afternoon section. The word focused means giving your full and undivided attention to one specific thing at a time. Staying genuinely focused during a long work or study session absolutely takes practice and discipline, but the results are so worth building that skill.
The word recharge means to regain and restore your energy levels. Taking regular short breaks scattered throughout your day actively helps you recharge so that you can keep going steadily without completely burning out.
And the word regroup means to take a conscious, intentional moment to collect your thoughts and prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for the next part of your day. Right after lunch is a perfect and natural time to regroup before diving back into your afternoon tasks.
Sluggish, as Sarah mentioned earlier, means feeling unusually slow, heavy, and low in energy. It most commonly happens after eating a large, heavy meal in the middle of the day or after a night of poor, disrupted sleep.
And knock out is a really common informal phrase in everyday English that means to complete tasks efficiently and decisively. As in, I really need to knock out these emails and this report before 3 o'clock today.
Energy slump is a phrase that refers to that familiar dip in your energy and concentration that often hits in the mid to late afternoon. Eating a lighter and more balanced lunch and keeping yourself well hydrated throughout the day are two of the most reliable ways to help you avoid that dreaded 3 o'clock crash.
There really are so many genuinely useful everyday English phrases hiding naturally inside a completely ordinary workday routine.
That is exactly the beauty of learning vocabulary through real contexts like this. You immediately understand when and how to use it because it comes from real life.
Exactly right. Okay, now let's move into the evening section of our day because I personally think this is where so many people either really get things right or honestly fall apart quite completely.
Yes, so true. Evenings are genuinely when I feel the strongest need to unwind and decompress. After a full and busy day, I really need to consciously let go of the work mindset and shift myself into something much slower, quieter, and more peaceful.
For me, every evening after dinner, I always take a short walk outside, even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes around the neighborhood. It helps me de-stress, clear my head, and properly close out the day before I head back inside.
That sounds genuinely lovely and therapeutic. I do something similar in spirit. Sometimes I put on some music I love and just sit quietly for a little while, doing absolutely nothing productive. Dinner for me is usually somewhere around 7 in the evening, something simple but genuinely satisfying and nourishing.
What do you normally have for dinner on a typical evening?
I enjoy things like grilled salmon with roasted vegetables, or sometimes a simple stir-fry with brown rice and whatever vegetables I have on hand. Something that feels genuinely nourishing and wholesome, but not so heavy that it disrupts my sleep later on.
That sounds absolutely delicious. My dinners are usually something quick and uncomplicated, like pasta with a vegetable sauce, a simple rice bowl with some protein, or occasionally a hearty soup. I'm not a very elaborate or adventurous cook in the evenings.
Yes, same, honestly. After a long day, the simpler and faster, the better. Nobody needs a complicated recipe at 8 in the evening. After dinner, I always make sure to brush my teeth and wash my face properly. It sounds like such a tiny, inconsequential thing, but it genuinely sends a clear signal to my brain that the day is officially finished and done.
Yes, that's such a perfect way to describe it, like hitting a deliberate reset button. You're consciously transitioning yourself out of day mode and into rest and recovery mode.
Exactly. And then I wind down slowly with either a good book or a warm cup of herbal tea before getting to bed. No screens, no social media, no scrolling, just something genuinely calm and quiet.
I follow a very similar pattern, actually. I avoid all screens during the last full hour before I plan to sleep. I find that reading something interesting or listening to calm, gentle music really helps my busy mind slow itself down naturally and prepare for sleep.
And what time do you normally aim to get to bed at night?
I aim for around 10 o'clock most evenings, and on the nights when I actually stick to that time, I genuinely wake up feeling so much better and more refreshed the following morning. The difference is remarkable.
Same for me. I tend to get to bed around 10:30. Having a consistent bedtime that you keep to night after night is honestly one of the most underrated and overlooked health habits that exists.
It really, truly is. You wake up feeling like an entirely different and much better version of yourself when you've had a full, proper night of good quality sleep.
Now, let us look at the key vocabulary from our evening section. The word unwind means to relax your body and mind and gradually release the stress and tension of the day. After a long and demanding day, we all genuinely need some quality time to unwind before attempting to sleep.
The phrase reset button is used as a metaphor for making a fresh, clean start. Like when you wash your face and brush your teeth at the very end of the day, it acts as a clear signal to your brain of a clean mental break from everything that happened since morning.
And the phrase wind down means to gradually slow your body and mind down in preparation for sleep. It is very similar in meaning to unwind, but more specifically refers to that intentional, gradual transition toward rest.
Herbal tea is a caffeine-free warm drink brewed from various plants, herbs, or flowers. It is very widely popular as a relaxing and soothing evening drink, precisely because it does not contain caffeine, and therefore will not keep you awake at night.
And a consistent bedtime simply means going to sleep at roughly the same time every single night. This incredibly simple habit helps your body develop and maintain a natural, healthy sleep rhythm and significantly improves the overall quality of your rest.
So many of the words and phrases we've shared today are ones you'll genuinely encounter and be able to use in everyday conversations starting today.
That is what makes daily routine vocabulary so practical and immediately valuable. You can actually put it to use in the real world straight away.
Exactly right. You do not need to wait for some special or unusual situation to arise before you can use these words. You can use them today, tonight, and tomorrow morning.
So we have now walked through an entire complete day together. The morning routines that set us up for success, the afternoon focus and energy management, and the evening wind down that prepares us for genuine rest and recovery.
And what I personally love most about this whole conversation is what it reveals about the true nature of routines. They are not about being rigid, inflexible, or obsessively perfect.
Exactly right. They're about creating a flexible but reliable personal structure that supports you as a whole person. Something that helps you feel grounded and in genuine control of your life, rather than constantly reactive, scattered, and overwhelmed.
Whether you're working full-time, studying hard, raising a young family, or simply trying to find your footing and your rhythm in a new city or a new stage of life, a thoughtful, personal routine makes everything feel that much more manageable.
And please remember that a good routine is not solely about productivity and getting things done. It's equally about taking those essential moments to properly rest, to recharge your energy, and to genuinely take care of your whole self.
That delicate balance between doing and resting is so critically important to your well-being, and it is so surprisingly easy to forget in the noise and rush of a busy modern world.
You simply cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking real care of your energy, your rest, and your mental health is not laziness or selfishness. It's actually wisdom and good sense.
Beautifully and perfectly said as always, Sarah.
Thank you, John. Okay, everyone, let's bring today's wonderful episode to a proper close.
What a rich and enjoyable conversation this has been. We genuinely hope it gave you some helpful practical ideas and a little fresh inspiration for shaping your own daily routine.
And if you picked up some new vocabulary and useful phrases along the way today, then that makes us even happier. That's the whole beautiful point of what we do here on Native English Podcast.
Try actively using some of these phrases in real life today. Tell a friend or a colleague about your morning routine. Describe what your afternoon looks like. Talk about how you wind down in the evening.
Using language in real, genuine, everyday contexts is how it sticks in your memory and becomes truly yours, not just reading it passively on a page or in a textbook.
Exactly. Keep building those healthy habits every single day, in your life and in your English.
Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today. We cannot wait to see you in the very next episode of Native English Podcast, brought to you by Native English Stories.
Take good care of yourselves, everyone. Have a balanced, productive, and joyful day ahead.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.